What is going on, guys? Welcome to episode number 4 of our Detroit Lions franchise. In today's episode, we have gameplay against the Chicago Bears. Obviously, Detroit losers today. Today is Sunday. Didn't have too good of a game, man. Stafford was yet again pretty bad. Pretty bad, all things considered. Being paid like a top 5 quarterback is just not producing. Hopefully that we can actually vault that offense over the top here in today's game against the Bears. 3-5. We are 4-4 after a close loss against the Vikings. So Slacker Gaming is he's playing his game right now against the Cardinals. I believe that he's going to have an easy task in that game to take care of business against the Cardinals. But we're going to lead this one off with scouting some of our college players to actually see who we might need to consider taking. So obviously, with how the Lions have played recently, we need to start considering some offensive line help. Like, no joke. It is so bad right now. For as much money as they've put into this offensive line, for whatever reason, it just has not clicked. And it's mostly on the right side. It's TJ Lang, it's Rick Wagner, it's that right side that's really giving the Lions fits. And honestly, we might have to consider scouting some guys here to try to help that out. Because, Ragnow's been playing great. Eric Decker has been playing decently. So we're not really looking at a left tackle right now, unless we want to just move one of those guys to right tackle as well. But I'm going to focus on the right side for right now. And mainly I'm going to be focused on right tackle. Dalton Risner is a guy that's among pro scouts. He's actually going to be a pretty good player. So I do like what I see here. C+, C+, C+. That's pretty solid. He fits with our scheme. He might be a nice little addition for us. Here's a guy. Isaiah Prince was drafted in our Bengals franchise. And he's not too bad either. He'd be a nice little late round pick. Basically, what you don't want to do in this situation is you don't want to take an offensive lineman really early, like a round 1, right? Unless he's just going to immediately fill in a gap and start for you, because you're spending all this money on Rick Wagner, you're spending all this money on TJ Lang. It kind of just doesn't make any sense to either cut them outright, right, and then just waste all that money. You might as well get what you're getting out of those guys with their overall ratings as high as they are. You might want to just keep drilling it, just keep playing with those guys, and hopefully that they can produce at a high level until that player in the second or third round is able to take over that position the following season. So looking at some centers. I know that Ragnow is a center, but I believe that he is playing guard. I think he's at left guard right now. Graham Glasgow is the center. Let's look at this guy here out of Wisconsin. I have to be able to pronounce his name here, but out of Wisconsin, you're definitely one of those guys that they love to scout. They love to scout their O-linemen, the big offensive linemen that can run block. This is kind of what we need to focus on, as well as trying to get some guys that can run block into this team. Let Kerryon Johnson work. You gotta look at those guys. So Connor McGovern, he's a pretty solid player himself. Kind of like where he's at with the 4th round. So I do like what I see there. Tight end. Like I was talking about before, Noah Fant would be a nice little pick in the 1st round. I don't really see anybody else here that really catches my eye. So unless Tommy Sweeney, he's decent. He's decent, but he's not going to be a guy that's going to push you over the top, right? So that is that. And then wide receiver, we need to look at some wide receivers too, guys. Maybe Marquise Brown, but that's kind of C+. I kind of like Colin Johnson. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I really like me some Colin Johnson. He's spectacular catch is really good with that B. If you guys look him up in YouTube highlight videos, he's actually really quick for his 6'6" size. I like this guy. I really do. I think he's going to be a good pro. And I'm basically saying that right now And then, in a couple years from now, I can kind of cite back to this and say, hey, guys, I told you. David Sills is pretty good himself. N'Keal Harry, obviously a very good player. Stanley Morgan as well is a nice little receiver. Anthony Johnson, that's the kind of guy that we might need to consider as well. Out of Buffalo, very, very good player. We could definitely look at him as well. So that's going to round out the scouting for today's episode. Let's go ahead now and get into episode 4 with gameplay against the Chicago Bears. All right, guys, let's get this gameplay underway. Chicago Bears hosting the Detroit Lions. It's going to be a very tough matchup here, not only because the Bears have a very good defense with Khalil Mack, Leonard Floyd, Kendall Fuller. I mean, these guys are really good players. Adrian Amos Jr., I mean, they're all over the field, guys. It's a swarming defense. And the Lions on offense, guys, just have not been able to get it clicking here so far in real life or in this series. So it's going to be a tough matchup here. And because of the weather. The weather, yeah, it's bright and sunny out there. Blue skies, cloudy a little bit. But it's going to be cold, too. So anytime you get that defense hitting you hard, it makes you think twice about running up the middle. Your hands are cold, right? You can't feel the football. Stafford's not going to be able to, sling it like he normally can. And especially when you're running, too. You don't want to be going up the lanes against guys like Akeem Hicks, right? Am I right? So here's Trubisky. His numbers on the season, 16 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. He's not having a great season, but he's having a good season for Chicago. They are 3-5. Regardless of that record, they are a very tough team. And you guys will see that in this gameplay here. So 2nd and 9 after this stop of Jordan Howard. He's only going to pick up 1. There's Anthony Miller trying to fight his way across to get about 3 or 4 yards right there. So it's going to be 3rd and 5. And Ansah is going to bust off of the engaged block. And he's going to get the sack on Trubisky. So it's going to be 4th and 18. They will have to punt the football back to Detroit. So it's 16 touchdowns, 5 picks for Matthew Stafford. He's having a pretty okay, it's a decent season in this online franchise. But you know what? In real life, my video still stands, guys. It's a Stafford conundrum. He just, for whatever reason, cannot get this team going and firing on all cylinders here. And a lot of it's due in part to his inaccuracies downfield. Been a very, very bad passer downfield, guys. I mean, look at that throw here in this franchise. I mean, you had Marvin Jones wide open in a bullet pass, just he couldn't hit him. So it's going to set up 3rd and 4 after a nice run by LeGarrette Blount. Here's Kerryon Johnson getting in some passing down work. On 3rd and 4, he's going to take that for 5. So Stafford now 1 of 2 for 5 yards. 1st and 10, and here is a pitch. And there's Khalil Mack stopping Kerryon Johnson behind the line of scrimmage. That's a 4-yard loss. That's a big-time loss right there. But look at this. They were bringing the blitz, and Luke Wilson telling Toilolo where to go, and he is going to take this ball from the 29 all the way down to Chicago's 24. So a huge gain there for Luke Wilson and Detroit. So here's 2nd and 10 and almost completed pass to Kenny Golladay. But look at this, Fuller is going to pick it off, and that was just a poorly thrown football. I mean, even when you're throwing it down and to the right, it was still a poorly thrown football. He threw it way too left of Golladay, and Fuller jumped right in and picked it off. So Trubisky gets the football back, and here's Anthony Miller on a... Actually, is that Robinson or Miller? I think that was Miller. He's going to pick up about, positive yardage here. 3rd and 1, and little play action pass is not going to work. So here is Deshaun Hand out of Alabama with the sack. It's going to be 4th and 11. That's a negative 9 or 8 yard loss. Here's 1st and 10. And again, guys, the pass protection for Detroit has just not been there. Here's Adrian Amos with a sack. It's going to be the first sack given up by Detroit. First one on the day. Had a lot of sacks against Minnesota in real life. Also had quite a bit of sacks against us here in this series against Minnesota as well. So we're going to need more passes like this to Theo Riddick, Kerryon Johnson. Going to need a little bit more slant action as well to try to combat that blitz and not being able to sit back there in the pocket for an extended period of time. So here's actually a slant to Kenny Golladay. So a nice catch, good strong hands to hold on to that football, because a lot of times in our Bengals franchise, there's hits that jar the ball loose all the time, and guys always seem to knock it away from us. So 3rd and 8. We're trying to shoot for Golladay here in the corner of the end zone. He beats his man, though. But look at this. Adrian Amos with the zone coverage. He actually baited Stafford to make that throw in that lane. And Stafford just didn't see it, a.k.a. me, didn't see it, and just threw it a little bit errant. And it's going to be picked off. So a little bit of a defensive battle here brewing. That's Taylor Gabriel here on a big-time reception all the way down the middle, just streaking that way across to the 33-yard line. And here's Trubisky on 2nd and 10, and 3 Detroit Lions unable to tackle him. Ansa's actually got to come from the defensive end spot on that right side to make the tackle, so Trubisky doesn't advance the football any further. But check this out, an interception by Quandre Diggs, who baited Trubisky to make that throw. So again, guys, like I said, defensive battle is brewing here. So good job by Diggs to get his 3rd interception on the year. 5 minutes left in the second quarter. We got 4:22 left to go right now. Here's a pass complete to TJ Jones on a 3rd and 15. So again, we're getting some sacks, we're getting some tackles for losses. It's just not looking good. And then look at this. The defense, that's Danny Trevathan, was basically blitzing, fake blitzing. He was bluffing it, and then he went back into coverage, trying to shoot for that A route, that choice route by Luke Wilson, and an interception again. So Stafford with 3 interceptions against Chicago right now. So it's not looking good right here for Detroit. Got to get a stop, though. We got to make something happen here on defense. Here's 3rd and inches at the 2-yard line. And look at this. The Lions get a stop. So Ezekiel Ansah comes up big time and is going to push them back another yard to get it to 4th and 1. So they're going to kick a field goal. It's going to be 3-0, right? So 1st and 10, 14 seconds left. Nice completion there to Golladay, and here's Stafford trying to fire to Golladay yet again, and he just didn't get his head turned quick enough. That probably, if we had completed that pass, another timeout, we probably would have had another shot for a play into the end zone or throw the ball away. But now we just got to settle for a field goal to make it 3-3, and that's a 55-yard kick, and Prater gets it up and good. So we go into halftime with a 3-3 score. A defensive battle here at Soldier Field. Just taking a quick look at the statistics here. 80 passing yards for Chicago, 13 yards on the ground. So we're having a much better offensive day despite all of the turnovers. And then we get a drop here by Kerryon Johnson, who was really, I mean, he was wide open, guys. You have to catch that football on 3rd and 5 to get that first down. Here's 2nd and 10, and the defense, that's Damon Harrison and Devon Kennard getting in on the tackle for a loss. It's going to be 3rd and 14 for Chicago, facing some pressure. And then here is Tavon Wilson with the tackle on Tariq Cohen. So Detroit gets the football back. TJ Jones making a nice grab here, going to pick up the first down. Stafford now over 200 yards, but those 3 interceptions, guys, are really costing us right now. Here's Kerryon Johnson getting a nice little carry up there. 3rd quarter, 5:49 left to go. Kerryon's got 34 yards right now. A little pass out here to Riddick, trying to make something happen with a little bit of juke move. Nothing doing. It's going to be 3rd and 5. So we need a first down big time. Trying to shoot for Marvin Jones on the comeback route. And again, the bullet passes for Stafford downfield have just not been working, have not been very accurate whatsoever. So we actually take the lead here, 6-3. But this doesn't look like it's going to last too long. At least a tie here, maybe. Here's a catch out there to Trey Burton. Tease Tabor with the coverage and the tackle here. Here's Jordan Howard utilizing his skill set, getting some power yardage across to the 8-yard line, 2nd and 5. Tariq Cohen now checks in the backfield. He's going to get a touchdown, guys. Just gets the ball over the goal line. Nobody was even touching him. Nobody touched him for like 5 yards until the goal line. It's unreal. So 10-6 now. Chicago here late in the 3rd quarter. And here's Kerryon Johnson with it. He faked out 2 guys, but look at this. Trevathan, actually that's Mack with the fumble recovery, but who laid the hit on him? 58, number 58 laid the hit. So I'm not sure who that is, but they absolutely destroyed Kerryon, and he fumbles the football. It's just unreal, guys. This is what the Lions did in the real life game, right? Kerryon had a crucial fumble And another deep route pass who was wide open was Luke Wilson. And this is crazy, guys. It's crazy. So Prater's going to have to come back on, kick another field goal. It's going to be 10-9. And we're still 1 point shy of a tie, right? A field goal will win the game, but hey, we got to get a stop here first. Here's a pass, almost complete, dropped by Allen Robinson there. Here is Stafford and Detroit trying to get something going here on 2nd and 10. Golladay, almost, but that's Fuller with the coverage. 3rd and 10, 4th quarter here, 4 minutes left to go. Finding Kerryon Johnson, but with the tackle, unable to pick up the first down. It's going to be 4th and 1. Detroit has a decision to make. We decide to punt the football away because our defense has been playing pretty good. We've got to call some timeouts, though, here after the 2-minute warning if, in fact, we need to, right? If we can actually get some stops here or a possible interception or a fumble, we don't need to, right? Here's a nice tackle for a loss on Jordan Howard. So it's going to be 3rd and 10 now with a minute left to go. And Howard, we get the stop. We get the stop. We only used 1 timeout on that series, and we actually got the stop. But look, a personal foul face mask called on Quandre Diggs, who had that earlier interception. He was playing well until that point, guys. It's going to cost us a possible W here. We call a timeout, 2nd and 5. Jordan Howard, they're going to be running the football here. We know they are. And we've already used another timeout, guys. And look at this, 2nd and 5. We have 1 timeout left. And Ansah jumps off sides for neutral zone infraction. It's going to be 2nd and short. So basically, we have to get a stop here on 2nd and inches, or first down means that this game is over. And look at this. Great blocking out there for Chicago. And Jordan Howard is going to pick up more than he needed for the first down. We do end up calling a timeout anyway, just in case something crazy would happen. But guys, Detroit is going to lose this game yet again. That's back-to-back losses to divisional opponents by 1 point. So we lost 17-16 last week against Minnesota, and now we're losers to Chicago 10-9. So obviously the passing yards, 221, that's decent. Rushing yards were decent as well. But again, it's the turnovers, it's the penalties, it's not being smart. Right? When you're on the field, it's not being smart. So Detroit, losers today, guys. So we will see you back here again on Sunday night for our online franchise with Slacker Gaming. Channel description for him is in the description as well. So I will see you guys on Sunday night. Go Lions. As always, peace.